Funga mlango, kelele isitoke nje sana hivi. Funga vizuri. Alright guys, welcome to Edutainment for Us channel. I've been on my other channel, Life Saga TV. I've done a political analysis, but I still feel there are things I've not covered right there, and I need to do them right here. So welcome. Remember, this is a platform where I do more of entertainment, educational videos. Some of them are actually even predictive on exams that are forthcoming, and some are lessons, others are just purely entertainment. We've also had our students doing their videos more of acting. So please keep watching us and support their talent, because as you know, currently talent is one thing that is really honored in our country. And when you look at CBE, for example, talent is even more honored than academics itself. Yeah, so as students go through academics, they also need to nurture their talents, right? And sometimes you don't get them having such an opportunity where they can nurture their talents and showcase what they know or what they have. So guys, I'm here to talk about some political matters that are of importance to ourselves and our country. And I think through deep analysis and documentary and research, I don't focus on just sharing what I'm sharing without research. So welcome. Feel free to be here. You can also contribute towards our discussion, drop comments, and do share what we do here. Because apart from just educating people, we need to inform them, we need to entertain them, and we need to do analysis that are geared towards making things clear. So currently in Kenya, you understand that there are laws that are really biting into people's bones. We've had already people standing against some of the laws, and we've seen the court putting some injunctions on some of those laws. The two major laws that are really creating a lot of problems with citizens are privatization law and cybercrime law. Now, why do you think people are really much against these laws? Of course, you'll understand that people are uncomfortable with these laws because they feel that they are going to infringe on some rights and also expose our nation maybe to selling some items that are very important, or rather institutions, without the knowledge of citizens or a long-standing process. Now, I was very surprised with what Honorable Otiende said, indicating that when some of those laws were being passed, it was a quick process. Maybe let me just check for the receipts and see. A young gaming, welcome here. Hi to you and welcome. I really appreciate your presence here. Big up to you. Thank you so much for participating. Yeah, so let's get to see some of the aspects that have been shared here. Okay. I want us to check on something right here. Kehri Singh, welcome. Are you from India? I see from that name, possibly from India, and thank you so much. Nobody asked. Oh my God, that's a very unique name. Nobody asked. Thank you so much, and big shout out to you. Nobody asked. Hey, I thought it was nobody asked, but it is nobody asked. I was like, oh, welcome. Kairi Singh says yes. Thank you so much, friends from India. Namaste. And I hope you're doing well. Right here, I'm in Kenya, of course. For those of you who've been watching me for some time, this is Prissy from Kenya. But my channel is called Edutainment for Us. I also have another channel called Life Saga TV and Music Hills, among many others. All right. Oh, Ayan Gaming also, you are here yesterday. You told me you are from India. Welcome. And feel blessed to be here. I also thank you so much and may God bless you. Nobody asked. Can you please subscribe to the channel? I know you are new. Yeah, namaste. All right. Yeah, so big up to you. Thank you so much for being top fans. Number 1, 2, 3. I really appreciate you. Yeah, when I look at my algorithms, a lot of people who watch me are from India. I've also had some people from Indonesia, Mexico. I'm having others from Turkey, South Africa. We have Nigeria. We have a little bit from Jamaica, America, and all over the place. So big up to you. Thank you so much. May God bless you. Because when you actually bless us, why not? Fekere, hello. Welcome. Today I'm doing a political analysis before I go back to Nyabohanse's stuff. And there is a lot of mix. That is why I decided to do something on political aspects, because looking at the death of Baba actually after Raila Odinga passed on, there's been a lot of controversy one on the other. And one of the greatest things is the wars or the battles that we are seeing in ODM. Um, Ferkere is like, you will kill me. I hate politics. Don't worry. I just do once in a while to fill our hours also. And I feel like some people also like watching some bit of it. But I'll be coming back to do, maybe by, I don't know whether it's by 8, I'll be coming back to do some social analysis of Nyabohanse. There's a lot of stuff there. But when you look at politics, I just wonder why ODM are continuously battling against each other. And some of them are looking like indeed they're orphaned, you know. The moment we saw Baba being, brought, the body being brought, and the burial being conducted, I saw the war already started, with some people standing out even in the plane that was going to Mumbai. And later on during the speeches, whatever we saw is like Sifuna says, Baba did not say this. He did not tell us to remain in broad-based government. He just said that we have to plan for the next election. Now, there are those who are saying, Baba said that we must remain in broad-based government. And of course, you know some of them, including Wanga, Gladys. We have Mbadi. Mbadi spoke very emotionally. And I was like, what the hell is this man actually speaking like this? Like he wants to, his eyes wants to pop out. His hands are flying in air and everything is happening. I was like, cool down. All right. And I saw again Kasmuel, who is not yet in politics as such, but a representation of the Gen Z, came out talking about some people want to declare themselves as the Babas, and I think he was targeting Babu when he spoke like that. Yeah, so he was targeting Babu and indicating that Babu is actually coming out to show as if he's the kingpin of Nyanza, when he should not be doing so. They are supposed to be the people to elect him. And I was like, is Babu announcing himself, or are the people the ones behind him? All the way from Nairobi and even Kisumu, of course, we saw people parading and calling along him. Amos or Rainbow, welcome and be happy to be here. Like the video. Today I'm doing a political analysis here. I rarely do so on this platform because I have another channel where I do it. But I just feel like sometimes I'll be popping in with one video on political discussions and go back to the social. And of course, I see some people don't really want politics at all. But remember, we have had some laws, for example, that are burning up. We've also had a controversy, especially surrounding whether GACHAGUA should go to Bondo or not. And we saw the members of ODM coming up to parade and remind GACHAGUA not to go to Bondo. And I just want to look for that video. This is it. It is right here. Let's look at this. Constituency. Oh, what is this? Let's skip this. In his county, appearing to celebrate the death of our party leader, the late Right Honorable Raila Odinga, are not only nefarious, but unbelievable and utterly despicable from a man calling himself a leader. The late Raila Odinga put his life in the line
fight for the freedoms that Kenyans enjoy today, spending nights in detention and prison. To be among the gallant sons and daughters of the soil who championed the second liberation of our country and the selfless sacrifice for our nation is a clear indicator that he had the country's interests at heart. During his time, the late Odinga believed in a Kenya where everyone enjoyed the freedom of speech and democracy and fought for stronger devolution, equity and equality for all, regardless of where you come from, and a united Kenya. For someone of Governor Kahiga's caliber, is a beneficiary of Raila's sweat, scars, and tears to make such derogatory remarks.
So, looking at Governor Kahiga, I don't know how he came about to speak about Raila and celebrate the fact that when he's gone, at least the negative plans, according to him, that is what he said, that the plans that were set forth between Raila and now the current president will not achieve. And of course, I think out of the backlash that happened from different people, not just from ODM, we saw the people from Mount Kenya speaking about it, and they really said that they are not part of what Governor Kahiga said. And of course, we have seen a lot of Kenyans condemning that. So, I don't know why at first people are feeling like it's Mulima. And this is one of the things that I feel like in Kenya, people generalize a lot. You know, one person speaks and then before you know it, the statement is generalized to the whole country when it only applies to an individual too, you know. So, of course, whatever he said was a very bad statement to have said of the dead. Because he's gone, he's gone. He will not come back. Why would you come out to say a statement like, it's good that he's gone because what they had planned will no longer happen? I'm like, whoever told you this? Because in Africa, we don't celebrate the death of anybody. Leave alone even people who have been disturbing in the society. You don't go celebrating their death, all right? So I think Governor Kahiga, whatever the problem was, the governor of Nyeri, was really messed up. And of course, he's come out to resign after he saw the backlash and everybody against what he said, he had to resign. Now, I don't know why people are relating that to GACHAGUA. Maybe if he ever spoke some statements before, maybe he had. But now when it comes to the current time, I don't believe that he really spoke anything, because all through during the funeral, I could keep watching so many politicians. And one of the things I saw is that GACHAGUA remained in a mourning moment. He kept sending messages to mourn the death of Raila Odinga. Now, it comes out clearly as a shocking thing that people are now deciding, because we've seen ODM again saying that there is no way, okay? Yeah. There is no way that GACHAGUA should go to Bondo. And I was surprised because I saw that statement in, I think they are the ODM guys. Let me just take on this.
But as a community, we just want to remind him, because his memory is so short, that we have been out of government since time immemorial. But we've always been here. The only government that has given us full recognition is this of President William Samoei Ruto. And as my chair has ably said, the line has been drawn. We will not seek any friendship with GACHAGUA and his surrogates, because again, we are privy to a meeting that was held yesterday between GACHAGUA, Kahiga, and some of their ilk that came up with the deliberations to have that statement made as it was. As a community, we have absolutely no problem with our Kikuyu brothers and sisters. We marry them, we work with them, we associate with them. We've got friends all across the Mount Kenya region. But Kahiga and GACHAGUA, as we go into our next elections, Baba put us into this government, and we have to make that very clear. And this government, we shall stay. Anybody harboring any ambition of approaching us, time is long gone.
I want to associate myself completely with the remarks that were made. I want to condemn in the strongest terms possible the reckless statement by Governor.
Mi trabajo es fácil porque uso ClickUp. Así es como hago un
Oh my
seguimiento de
God.
todas mis tareas. Empiezo volcán.
Kahiga. And I want to say that not even the words alone, but the people who are supporting Kahiga and his team, clapping and cheering on his statements, that is very reckless. I want to say that I want to associate this one to somebody who talked about a farmer who died, and the baboons and the monkeys were clapping and cheering. That finally the person who have been chasing us away from the farm is dead. Please watch your statements. Very soon you will.
Joining us for this conversation
So,
this morning.
Guys, the reason why I actually decided to do an analysis here is that I know most people are run away from politics, and I may not force you into it, but I just want us to understand that whenever people crowd for a press release and maybe start to actually offer statements and say that we are not with you, coming elections, we are going to remain in government and all that, what does that signal? And of course, at that point, that is where you realize that ODM is split. People like it or not, ODM is split, because even though people are trying to say that they will not go anywhere, there are those within that party that they are saying they'll go. And of course, you've seen the likes of Sifuna, Otiende, you've seen the likes of Babu. At first, we thought that it's just Babu and Sifuna, but I'm beginning to understand that there is more. There is more than the tea that we've been taking, right? And I want us to just listen to Honorable Otiende and what he's saying here.
You know how they say there's some things that appear like Haley's comments.
Oh,
every
Bruno
85 years.
Bruno Betaito, welcome,
What the next
welcome.
one will be, but there's a
Big
rare
up to you.
sighting of Rarieda constituency member of parliament, Otiende Amolo, and he's here in the situation room with
elections that my friend Manzo had secretly taken the registration certificate. He had taken it, and basically, with my other friend Kalonzo Musyoka, they had bolted with it. And we had to quickly find a way of registering a party. Fortunately, Wakili Imanyara had already registered a party which he was willing to give to us. And so we had to go to the registrar to persuade the registrar to change the name so that the name could be ODM.
You are asset rich and still broke. You own 5 plots and still live paycheck to paycheck.
Then my understanding is that when it comes to 2027,
Bruno Betaito, I've said
President
hi
Ruto
to you.
still desires the support of ODM, then we must enter a structured negotiation again. We must be very clear that if we are to support UDA, what are the gains? What are the bargaining points? And we cannot do that if we are strong, if we are not strong. We cannot do that if we allow ourselves to be swallowed into UDA for now. And that is why, irrespective of what anyone says, we must remain strong and independent as a party first. Then we can have a strong bargaining and negotiation position. Otherwise, we would have been swallowed into UDA and there would be no interest in negotiating anything with ODM. And that is why my understanding is that the president could only be talking about the broad-based. The president, what morning that we all learned of Raila's death. About parliament, I can tell you that while the broad-based government is a good thing for this country, I think one of the unintended effects it has had on parliament is to reduce the level of scrutiny and opposition to bills that may not be good.
Does it mean members of parliament are failing Kenyans?
Yes, I think we.
Now, guys, when you look at that, I think people should be very careful while supporting whether it's ODM, broad-based government, or whatever it is, the arrangement that are out there. Because clearly, from what you've heard from Honorable Otiende Amolo, The broad-based government maybe has had its advantages, but at the same time, it carries its own baggages or disadvantages or jiggers that it's spreading in the nation. For example, the aspect of lacking scrutiny. It's very wrong when a government lacks scrutiny or people to whistleblow, for example. And that's why we've seen a lot of bills. I've never seen a situation where 10 bills have been amended and signed into a law in this country. Since I began to know history, actually I've never seen. This is the first time I've seen 10 good bills passed into laws, just as quick as that. Actually, I've been seeing amendments of 1 or 2 bills and all that, but I was shocked when those bills were passed and again, they were quickly made into law. And I thought maybe I began to ask myself, why are people complaining about these laws being signed, yet it seems if I know the process of passing a law, it must go through 6 processes. I didn't know that some of those laws had been rushed. And of course, Otiende shares it here. Let's just listen to this.
Yeah. What it has done.
Bruno Betiato from Brazil, welcome, welcome. Consider to subscribe to the channel also for those of you who are new.
Because I have usually questioned some of these matters during debate. And then they have then concluded, some people have concluded that I'm one of those who are opposed to the broad-based government. But that is not so. I support the broad-based government, but that 10-point framework agreement does not say anywhere that we must support legislation and proposals even if they are not correct. And therefore, I have continued to speak out against what I think are proposals that are improper at whatever cost. For example, when before the last session, there was proposal to privatize Kenya Pipeline Company, remember?
Yes.
I spoke very strongly against it, and a lot of our colleagues were in opposition so that they withdrew the bill. And then, you know, the way Parliament works. And then this session, what they then did is on a particular day, when we had seen the order paper, and nothing like privatization of KPC was on it, and so no one was prepared. And then at about 2:30, they circulate another order paper that now has it only to those basically who are in the house. So some of us now learned, and by the time we got there, it had been endorsed within less than 30 minutes or something like that. And I'm on record as questioning the speaker that that is a misuse of amendment of the order paper. The order paper is supposed to notify not just members of parliament, but everyone at large that there will be this business at this time.
Right.
So I called it legislation by ambush. And so some of us have continued to call this. When the cybercrimes law was being debated, we opposed it. But what happens in parliament ultimately, there's something called mood of parliament. That mood is the most difficult thing you can deal with. Because you can go there, you have your minutes, sometimes it's 3, sometimes it's 4.
All right, so Honorable Tiende Amolo was sharing how those bills were actually passed into law, because I was just questioning, why is it that people are complaining and before the law is passed, it's supposed to go through 2 readings. Tumepika. All right, so considering what he's sharing, I'm shocked. I'm shocked actually, and this is the realities that most people must be aware of, so that as Kenyans maybe complain, they understand why. All right, and when you look at the war that is coming up now, it means that there are people within ODM who are not supportive to such quick processes and some of the things that are happening in the broad-based government. They particularly kind of regret what is happening, because now the aspect of overseeing, or rather whistleblowing, or rather oversight, has been lost. because of the broad-based government. And so Otienda is joining people like Sifuna now and Babu to claim that ODM must remain as a party that is independent and not really be swallowed by UDA, all right? Yeah, and these are some of the politics that are creating a lot of problems in ODM. Now, let's get to see some things right here.
Can miss. This one is the one you don't miss. Then go to the EU, go to South Africa, share your experiences, because it will help us to build whatever it was. So just the same way people are sharing photos, they're bickering because they don't have screenshots. The guys who had screenshots shared, and so I mean, yeah, you didn't share a screenshot because I'm sure. Which cannot be understood. How do you honor him while you know very well that the people he has led out in the struggle have always lost their lives? You have one chance to make it right for the people who elected you, because again, when she ascended to the presidency of the Law Society, for example, it was under the support of Raila Odinga. How do you dishonor him in his final days, in his last days, and suddenly you are telling us now you're still moving to court? But surely, Kasmal, you know all the reasons why she declined. And this is why I'm saying, I was answering this in regards to the question that Movie had asked. If you are to look at it simplistically, it is the same way you cannot know all the reasons why there are certain appointments that have been made. You cannot know all the reasons why.
If there's something I will not even, I understand, because again, Honorable Kaluma came here and there's something he said specifically about that particular committee that was set up so that they can, compensate folks. Number one, I actually agree.
They have the opposition and they're going through what we went through. But if you look at other parties within the country, DP was an old party, nobody even hears of it. Safina party is actually older than ODM. It didn't diminish, but it was never anything to speak of. It existed, one or two members, but it wasn't there. All these other parties that people have, and there are very many parties in this country, they're over 100. They are literally no significance. They are briefcase parties that people have for purposes of whatever it is that they plan. Media. Have you seen what has happened to Raila Odinga Jr.? They forget that he holds a master's, he's a master CEO of a creative hub. They've forgotten all that. People have decided to mock him for a condition beyond his control. And have done whole challenges. Well orchestrated propagandas. Have you seen what happened to Winnie? It has gotten to a point where people have forgotten that this is a woman, a member of who represents us in the East African Legislative Assembly, a devilishly educated woman who has lost her father in less than a week and has had to see her father breathe his last. She's currently being hypersexualized on social media. That is what is happening. And you want me to trust those people? Have you seen what has happened to people? In studio, we do have a point.
So, of course, when you listen to Kasmuel reacting, or rather responding right there, he's trying to defend. And of course, it's very bad that people came up with defamatory statements about Raila Senior as well as Winnie. I don't know why sometimes when you look at the media now, you begin to accept that the laws that are being passed may be relevant indeed. Because when you see how people begin to send some messages to Winnie and consider her different from who she is, and also people trying to mock, Raila Senior, regardless of he's really overstretched himself and done a lot of things that were unexpected, For a person who has lived with disability, it's not really easy. I think for most of you, if you've seen kids with disabilities where you stay, it's not easy for them to go through the milestones as Raila Senior has done. So I think it's just about the fact that in Kenya, if you dare the public space, whether it's through social space or political space, you really must have a thick skin for that case. Because what people do, they'll bring you down, they'll look at maybe your pocket, whether you are rich or poor, they look at your head and say it's big enough, too big for anybody. They look at your eyes and something like that, and they'll mock you and challenge, maybe take that eulogy. I didn't expect that they would take the eulogies, the tributes that Winnie offered and Raila Senior, to mock them and create some challenges. And while speaking of this, I'm surprised also to have seen Bahati. Bahati was actually a gospel artist before he came to secular songs. It is very disappointing that he's challenging the laws in relation to traffic, and particularly on the road, driving while, holding somebody and just recklessly driving, just like the MP of Kibera did, and had to call the news anchor to go to Ruto and report whatever he wanted to do. Now, when you look at those kind of reportings, then you understand that freedom of sharing is very important, because when people share information, like when people are violating the traffic law, then it's very important people understand it and maybe talk about it, so that they sensitize other people against such matters, that you cannot do what you want regardless of who you are. The other aspect, when I look at now the way people are mocking Raila's family, I feel very sad about it, because disability is not something we choose. And I don't know, people don't even understand that Rosemary also has a visual impairment currently. But regardless of what it is, Odinga family is, of course, is an institution. And somehow, when you look at the politicians who actually had to crowd into that place, including Natembea, Eugene Wamalwa, Kalonzo Musyoka, Martha Karua, and all the rest, even who are in government, you realize that it's an institution on its own. From Jaramogi Oginga and even Oburu Odinga, Ruth Odinga, you look at Raila Odinga and the rest. I don't think it's a family that is just going to be, brushed under the carpet and be forgotten. So when Winnie came to declare that she is ready to come back home and lead the people, then now the young people on internet began to blow and take it negatively and maybe mock her. They also looked at Raila Senior, the way he had been talking, trying to emulate the father with the whisk, the dressing and all that. I don't know if they have researched about him, because what I know, Raila Odinga the Senior has done a lot of things for the children with disabilities. So if only people would look at what people have done, they would not really mock them or disregard them in moments as such as this. Now, away from that, let's talk about Uhuru Kenyatta. Now, I want you to think about Uhuru Kenyatta and how he approached the fact of the funeral, all the way from Kasarani to Nyayo Stadium and back to Kisumu and finally to Bondo. There is something that I feel like Ruto, not Ruto actually, but Uhuru Kenyatta was trying to define himself again in politics. And I think someone has supported that thought of what he did. I've watched Muriungi, and I'm again watching something here. And Odoyo Owidi is trying to say that it's possibly true that that in 2027, of course, Raila Odinga picked Ruto, but when you look at Uhuru is actually trying to define his way back to politics. And I want us to just look at some things before we come back here. If you may look at how he mourned, why did he decide, for example, on Mashujaa Day? He slept around Kisumu, and he came back to the funeral in Bondo and stood at the grave and honored it. And we saw pictures of that. We also realized that during the burial moment, when people are throwing sand into the grave, Uhuru Kenyatta did not do it together with Ruto. He actually gave himself different space to do so. We also come to the speeches he shared while at a stadium and also back home. They are quite different, They are quite different. But let's just check on this here. Let's get to his.
Okay, I have to ask you a question about. Welcome back to our YouTube channel.
Wait a bit.
Much for being part of our show.
With some little savings, I know Mama Ida might not want to be saved,
but Junior will do a little shaving for you, and then after, and your wife, after that little shaving is done, then you are going to be given the necessary instruments of power, and you will display it, and then things will continue and it will not be long. So this is all protocols observed. This is a very, very short ceremony which we want to perform here. It is being performed in the eyes of camera because it is not a secret. And my face there. Yeah, it is being done in front of the cameras because it is not a secret. This is a traditional ceremony to symbolically give the son of the departed, my brother, the late Raila Odinga, his son, Junior Raila, the seat of power of the home. The seat of the power of the home is now the leader of this home, together with the mom. The mom will be there to give
direction.
And we did that when my father Jaramogi left us, and we don't want to disregard the culture, because even in the Bible, you know there was Isaac and Jacob. And Jacob and Esau. As you heard,
Okay, so in the process of that coronation, I don't know, we have to watch more here to see. While they were crowning Junior, that hat, I don't know why it fell off. I did a minata. So guys, remember when a minata was being passed over the soil as a symbol of owning land, the sand actually fell off the hand of the boy who was passing it across, and that happened. So let's just check here what happens and see.
basi sasa kijana ameamuka, ikiwa tunaimba wimbo wa kitamaduni akisema,
Look at that. Chukua maziwa. Wewe. Salama. Wewe kuja unishikie video nini? Hatana na tu mwaga mafuta.
Still looking for the ultimate AI tool? Hailuo AI takes your AI experience to the next level. Just type your idea and click generate.
Now there are divided opinions. There are those who are saying that automatically the eldest son is crowned. Even if he's not crowned, it goes without saying that he's the head of the family now, being guided by the mother. And so that was an accident. It doesn't mean anything. People have thought that is saying that no, that maybe the gods do not want Junior to be crowned.
All right, guys. So let me just charge this also. Before going on. Just here. Alright guys, I'm sorry for keeping you waiting, but I had to deal with some things right here being delivered, and I had also to check on some stuff. But the traditional proceeding that happened at Bondo, was it today? And in the process, we saw that the whatever traditional hat that was being passed over from Oburu was actually had to put on Raila Jr.'s head, and it fell off. So I don't understand whether that will symbolically mean that he was not supposed to take over, but he's the only son in the home, so what other option was there? The other discussion that is really surrounding the social media is about whether Winnie or Rosemary should actually take the political mantle. And what you've seen is that Halwale came out to share theories about who should actually take the political position in that home. And I saw the comments, people coming up and saying that that is just a confusion he's creating. I don't know. Let me ensure that it's charging as I talk. Sometimes you just find the phone going off in the process. So Halwale actually gave information about who Raila wanted to take over power, and I was like, really? Because according to him, Rosemary should be the one taking over leadership in not Winnie. And I was like, but Winnie was very close to the father, and we can also see that leadership in her. And we saw that she spoke for herself in the funeral. She actually said that she's now ready to come home and work. So I don't know. When Halwale came up with this theory that it's not Winnie that the father wanted to become a leader, but Rosemary, that the father even endorsed Rosemary at some point, then that possibly would mean that all the two daughters are politically endorsed. I don't know. But currently, of course, people believe so much that the reshuffling is going to happen in government, and there is a high chance that because Ruto is seeking that support from Nyanza, he is going to push the narrative of actually having Rosemary, not Rosemary, Winnie, become part of the cabinet, and maybe also have Ida given a position, so that the people of Nyanza will see that he has respected Baba and someone is there to represent him. There are also high chances that more members from Nyanza will be given cabinet positions, because currently people from Mount Kenya, about 9 of them have positioned in government, while people from Nyanza are just around 4 or 5 there. Now that is why you are seeing that Gladys Wanga, Mbadi, and who else? The few people you've seen speaking there are really supportive of the fact of the broad-based government, and they are not ready to follow Sifuna, Otiende, and Babu. Some are even directly attacking Babu, calling him self-endorsed leader, unlike Raila Odinga, who was endorsed by people. I don't know whether people still believe that there is someone who's going to rise and people love him the way they used to love Baba. Ruto himself had to say that Raila was the people's president, and so that is why he gave the state funeral. But in my own thought or critical thinking, I'm just believing that even if that was one of the intentions, the major intention was that he read the political situation of the country and realized that if he doesn't do this, then he's going to lose the Nyanza votes. And Nyanza votes are a lot. You know, the people from Nyanza, funny enough, they normally vote as a block. Save for those who don't have IDs or don't go to vote. But they vote as a block, just like the people in Rift Valley and the people in Mount Kenya region. So I just believe within myself that the move to actually have the state funeral and also to go and give the speech he gave was to make sure that the Nyanza people are associating with him and feeling like they are not orphans, that at least the Uhuru Kenyatta, Ruto is with them. And therefore he had to make sure that he does all possible support to ensure that the funeral is fully supported and the people feel warm, because at first they had begun radicalism and had been talking about why Baba died and all that. You know, in Africa, people don't believe you die naturally. Even if you have been sick for long, they'll have to twist a narrative around someone killed you, you know? So, I don't understand why Khalwale came up with that aspect of what he shared. I'm just trying to look for that receipt because around 7 I should go do something. But let me just check on what Khalwale was saying here. On let's just look for this.
I mean, we go to the next segment of the questions that I have for you. Same with the speeches that we had during Raila's burial. Winnie Odinga, she spoke, and then at the tail end, she said, "But if you want to know, I'm coming. I'm ready to come back home."
Yes.
According to you, with this statement that she said, what did you think that she meant? Is it like she meant that she's coming home to join politics? She's coming home to take over the fathers? You know, what is your take on
I
that?
can't speak for Winnie because I have never shared a conversation with him apart from when I met her to congratulate her upon being go to Yala. I told her I voted for you, and I actually voted for her. So I don't know her mindset. However, when she made that statement, I was seated with Omalwa, and I poked his rib side and told him, "Did you hear that?" Then he told me yes, and I told him, "That girl doesn't want to stay in Yala. She was yearning for a more visible presence in the politics of this country before 2027. That Baba's choice amongst his children for who would succeed him was not Raila Jr., was not Winnie. After Fidel died, Raila told Rosemary to prepare to become the MP of Kibra. And upon being urged on, Rosemary came for me and she told me, "I would like you to take me to Kibra." And I took her to Kibra in her maiden rally at Kamkunji grounds, which is very symbolic in the Kibra constituency. She did not tell me that the father asked her to look for me. If he did, I don't know. She can confirm. If he didn't, then she meant